Okay, here's our 6-liter LS swap Porsche 944 S2. It's a 1991 car that came from the factory with a 3-liter dual overhead cam Porsche engine. Now it has a 6-liter Chevy aluminum LS V8 in it. The weight difference is nothing. This engine, this 6-liter aluminum Chevy engine, actually weighs less than a 944 turbo engine. Probably weighs either slightly less or about the same as the original 3-liter engine that came out of this car, and has twice the displacement, more than twice the power, so there's nothing not to love about that. Down in the description there will be a link to the full playlist of YouTube videos on this car. There's over 130 videos, starting from when it still had the original engine in it all the way to completing the engine swap. And we also did things like the suspension. It has 28mm rear torsion bars in it now, 275-pound front springs, Coney adjustable sport yellow shocks, and a 19mm 5-way adjustable rear sway bar. It has the original 26.5mm, I think it is, front sway bar on it. It has a manual steering rack in it now, and it's pretty amazing to drive. Also down in the description there will be a link to the coalpail.com full build, which, well, that started probably a year and a half ago. It's November of 2020 right now, and that's a brief description of the car. Let's take it for a ride. Some Amish buggy action going on here. This is typical of Sunday driving in this part of the world. We're in Pennsylvania, and this is kind of Amish country here, so gotta be a little careful and respectful of that. Car doesn't like going this slow. Not quite warmed up yet. One thing we're going to have to work on is the low-speed engine tuning. It doesn't seem to be great. I mean, it really gets surgy down below 2,000 RPMs for some reason. Worked out really well. I think the car is nice and balanced when you turn, and it goes through corners amazingly well, and there's plenty of power if you need to right foot oversteer it some, so it's really a tremendous amount of fun, and it just works great. I mean, I wanted to do this 15 years ago, and I had an 86 944 turbo, basically, then I moved. Then I moved again, and I ended up selling the car. I mean, it was a good car. I did suspension stuff to it and exhaust stuff to it, and I just never got around to the V8 conversion part. And I basically sold all my vehicles the one time that I moved, and that was one of the ones that went. And last year, 2019, I bought this, and I'm pretty freaking happy with it. Understeer when you first enter a turn like that, but that's easily corrected with the throttle. I mean, the car is crazy fast. I mean, this is just plain stupid how fast this thing goes. In some serious trouble with this thing. Man, it just accelerates like nothing. And when you wind it out, oh my God, even in fourth gear, it pulls unbelievably. I mean, enough that you actually feel the spring in the back of the seat. I mean, there's no spring or anything, but it essentially becomes a spring, and you basically get pushed back into the seat, and then as the car accelerates, that kind of catches up to it, and you move back forward to where the seat would normally be again. I mean, it is just crazy. So anyone thinking about doing an LS V8 swap on a 944, yes, I totally recommend it. The 944 is a very strong chassis car, and it just begs for more horsepower. The main reason Porsche originally didn't give it a lot of horsepower is because when they came out with this car in the early 80s, they were making the 928 and they were making the 911, and I'm pretty sure they didn't want this car to compete with the 928 and the 911. So they had, this kind of neat slot where you had 928 was the top of the luxury line, kind of. The 911 they were considering getting rid of, and then they ended up keeping it. So they were the two high-level cars, and the 944 and the 924 before it just filled that low-end slot. So if they made the 944 have a whole bunch of power, it would have been direct competition for the 6-cylinder and 8-cylinder car. So I am 90% sure that's why the 944 got a 4-cylinder engine. And they did make the 944 turbo, which, had a decent amount of horsepower. But still, they kept it the 4-cylinder. But as I've said before, I've had 944 turbos, and I love a 944 with lots of power, and this is just the ultimate answer, because the turbo car, it's a little finicky on throttle response and stuff like that, so you gotta, really be on top of it to get any power. But this thing just, it just grunts right from the bottom end. I mean, it just pulls like a freight train, you know, from idle. It is awesome. Well, that there was a short ride in our LS swapped Porsche 944. Hope you enjoyed that. This car is just a blast to drive. The last video I did was close to a month ago, and I haven't done anything to it. I haven't even washed it. It's still dirty. There's a couple little things we need to do to it to make it an everyday driver. I keep complaining about the wheel bearings. That's the main thing we got to do. Once we do that, it'll be good for daily driving pretty much. There's nothing else it really needs. But yeah, suspension works great. I mean, sometimes you hear people say that the car feels nose heavy when they drive. I don't know what the hell they're talking about, because the balance, and this is coming from experience, I've had a lot of these cars, the balance is no different than a regular 944 turbo. It drives the same, except it has a whole lot more power in the bottom part of the rev range than a 944 turbo does. I mean, a whole lot. Like driving around a racetrack, I mean, it's going to be basically a 2-gear car. I mean, you're probably going to be in either third or fourth 90% of the time, or fourth and fifth, depending on how fast the track you're driving at is. But man, I can't wait to do that. That'll probably be next year, because it's November now and COVID-19 and all that, so there aren't any real track events that I can go to here. And I mentioned earlier about the suspension choices that we made. Just for reference, I live in Pennsylvania. We have things called potholes, and we don't really have roads that are perfectly smooth like people in California, so the suspension has to remain pretty compliant if you're going to daily drive it. Otherwise, it's just going to rattle the teeth out of your head. So that's why we didn't go with like 400-pound front springs and coilovers in the rear and all that crazy stuff. The car is still very drivable, really easy to drive, and just a lot of fun. So that's that. Don't forget, look in the description for the link to the entire playlist for this project, and there'll be also a link to coalpail.com where the entire project is, with lots of pictures, lots of discussion, and some how-to, and a whole lot of problems that I ran into while doing this project. See you there.